It's on.
Welcome back. How you feeling, Pops?
Yes. I'm doing well, son. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Hello, world. Welcome back to another episode of Teys podcast. You know who it is. It's me, Son Trey, and always with me is Pops Trey. Pops, you want to go ahead and let me know why we do this every episode?
Indeed, son. It's been a while. We're back in the flesh. And channel fire and the youth elders, fathers and sons, bringing perspectives of truth versus the falsehood, and to reflect love and peace with the black male and the black female and the black community overall, and everybody else in between. That's what we are. That's what we're here for.
Beautifully said, Pops. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into our honorable mention for this episode. We are episode 28. What was that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tonight.
Word. This one I picked.
We're gonna have,
what you gonna say, Pops?
No, I mean, we may have some mixed reviews based on the honorable mention we chose for tonight.
Oh, word, of course. And
which is a brand new time. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I mean, the reason why I picked this individual, I wanted to have this individual on sooner as an honorable mention, but I just wanted to give it some time for his passing to rest and all the talk about him and stuff like that. But without further ado, our honorable mention for this episode is Kevin Samuels. I'll go ahead and pull up a picture for us. Pretty sure a lot of us do know who he is, but for those who don't, we'll be able to put the name to the face.
Peace, but wasn't power.
All right, so we have Kevin Samuels. You still hear me good, Pops, over there?
Yeah.
Word. I'll go ahead and read it off.
Let's not get to the and this a lot.
So we have Kevin Samuels, who was born on March 13, 1969 in Atlanta, Georgia. He grew up with a single mother. Samuels graduated from Millwood High School with honors. After graduating high school in 1987, he attended the University of Oklahoma and earned a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering in 1991. From a young age, he has been interested in fashion and style. His LinkedIn bio states, "Fashion and style have always been passions of mine for as long as I can." Into his career, Kevin Samuels began his professional career as a business development manager at Office Depot, a retail company. He worked there for 3 years and 6 months from December 2005 to May 2009. As a development agent manager, he sold and implemented products and services to a medium to large market of 75 to 1,000 white-collar employees. He met a $250,000 annual additional sales goal while overseeing a $2.6 million base of business. He was also awarded Business Development Manager of the Year in 2008, Impact Player of the Month 6 times, and Coaches Award winner 3 times. After leaving the job in July 2009, Samuels joined the media company Super Media, formerly known as Idea Media. He worked for 2.5 years as an inside advertising online sales agent until he quit the job in September 2011. His marketing, sales, and advertising skills allowed him to assist the customers in designing print and online advertising plans to help them develop their businesses. Samuels then served as a media consultant for YP, the Real Yellow Pages, a marketing and advertising firm, for 2 years. In January 2013, Kevin Samuels started his own image consulting firm, named after him, Kevin Samuels. Through his consultancy, Samuels offers images and brand integration services, wardrobe styling, media, and job interview, coaching to record artists, entrepreneurs, job seekers, and anyone who seeks to enhance their image and personality. Onto his YouTube channel, Samuels holds a self-named YouTube channel where he advises on lifestyle and fashion trends. He also provides dating and relationship guidance. Samuels launched his YouTube channel on May 20th, 2015, and has amassed over 1 million subscribers as of July 2021. With over 600 videos on his official channel, the videos get hundreds and thousands of views. Some of his most popular videos include A World Without Men, Are Modern Women Doomed, You Average the Best, Do Modern Women Want More Than They Deserve, and Is This the Future? He also has a book published, Kevin Samuels' Dating Advice for Women, The Things You Need to Know from Women's Perspectives, on December 2020. What else we have? And yeah, that's Kevin Samuels. Looks like Pops is kicked out. Let me go ahead and go. Hey, Pops, you there? Pop sure he's having a little technical issues getting into the studio, but yeah, that was Kevin Samuels. Like we said before introducing him, he has gone through a lot of controversy in the media in regards to his message, and I think maybe about a month ago it's been so far. He passed due to a heart attack, but the reason why we chose him as the honorable mention was when he was here with us before he passed. He was able to give insight to a lot of men and women in regards to relationships, in regards to taking care of self, and in regards to their overall image. A lot of people have, controversy on what he said, and you can, have your difference of opinion. But I think his results definitely speak for themselves. And at the very least, what he was able to do was at least get the conversation rolling between men and women in regards to relationships. And hopefully we can carry on his legacy by continuing on to having that conversation further, and taking the necessary acts that we all need to take when it comes to our relationships, and how we showcase ourselves in our relationships, whether they be intimate, professional, or friendship. Before we go ahead and get into the topic of today's show, I would like to remind you guys that if you're watching, you guys enjoy the show, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It does a lot for us. We want to make this show as interactive as possible. So while you guys are watching the show, feel free to leave a comment to show your love, or if you have a difference of opinion, leave a comment as well. We'll try our best to get to it and make the podcast as interactive as possible. I'm having a hard time getting Pop Trey back in, but still going to get him in the thing. So I don't want to get into the topic, of course, beforehand until we get him back in. Let's just chill out for a bit. Okay, I can just vibe out to the music for a little bit. Just want to make sure Pop Trey's back in. Pops, you there? I can kind of hear you. You're breaking in and out though.
That's what, man.
Word. Hey, Pops, I can see you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Word. Yeah, I was just I don't know how much you heard of what I was saying, but I was just speaking on the fact that you know,
Yeah,
a lot of content.
Right.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Please bear with us, guys. We're just trying to get Pop Trey back in. Having a bit of a difficulty. Third time's the charm. Let's see. Pops, I don't know if you can hear me, but I can see the loading screen. I don't know if you if your Wi-Fi might be acting up or something like that.
I don't know if we have some technical difficulties. The Wi-Fi, my end, is horrible. Truly are sorry for this. But we're going to try to get this worked out as soon as possible.
Word, Pops, don't even worry about it. We'll make it work.
We got a hot topic, definitely a hot topic tonight. A new day, a new night, a new time.
Hey, Pops, real quick.
We're live, you know me. We're for the technical difficulties. If you're not able to see, try.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Apologies for that, man.
No, y'all good, Pops. I don't know if you heard like the tail end of what I was saying. I was just speaking on essentially Kevin Samuels' impact. If you want to elaborate a little bit more, feel free.
You know, I'm a late bloomer, man. I definitely took more. I definitely listened to more when you started vouching for him. I did hear of him prior to, you know, informing me of his wisdom. So I was skeptical, you know what I mean? I was taking, you know, this is what we get in trouble sometimes. We sometimes take the word of others about people and take it as truth versus finding out, researching, and getting to know the person yourself and coming up with your own conclusion. So I fell victim to that, you know what I mean? So at first, I didn't have any, you know, thoughts of the brother, other than those thoughts that in which were, you know, given to me. But when you vouch for him, I remember that the day that you told me to, you know, listen to him, and I did. And, you know, a lot of things that he was saying was actual facts. And then one episode, I believe he gave mad respect to the women of the sisters of the Nation of Islam, the MGT. And I can't remember exact words, but I think he said something in the realm of, you know, more women need to be like the women in the Nation of Islam. And once I heard him say that, I knew this brother was on. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's unfortunate, it's untimely, but Allah knows best, man. And Allah felt that his work was sufficient, and he definitely called him home. So
Right.
salute, Kevin
Yeah,
Samuels. Rest in power.
yeah,
Rising.
unfortunately, like you said, a lot of people were, kind of clickbaiting or like minimizing what he was saying and running with it, or they had the controversy with him being gay.
Now,
It's
is
sad
that
to see,
confirmed?
Huh?
Was that ever confirmed that he was gay, or it was
No,
just,
that was total controversy.
gossip?
Yeah, gossip. It was another case of, well, we can't do anything to him, so let's kill his character. And that's sad to see, because he was putting himself on that front line and saying, I'll say what needs to be said, and then take the ridicule that I'm going to get back. And unfortunately, he was staying alone in that, and but as a man, I'm saying, like, I was even in those moments of trials and tribulations, he stood firm and tall in his convictions. And after his passing, my thought is just to make sure that I do my part in knowing the information that he gave me and then pushing it forward. He's not here to do that, so I think it's a responsibility of those that say they watched him and understood what he was trying to do to keep the message pushing.
Absolutely, and a lot of things that he spoke on was obviously about the male perspective and and the female perspective. What I'm saying? A lot of women, were opposed to him because of some of the things that he was saying, which I found to be right and exact. However, his delivery was sometimes threw a lot of people off, threw a lot of women off. But a lot of women did call his show and call and speak to him directly to get clarity on their own lives. And
right.
And apparently he's helped a lot of women and men in their relationships. And he was that one who wasn't afraid of speaking his mind.
Right.
And pretty much putting a woman in her rightful place where she doesn't really necessarily want to be in. And a lot of times there's some pushback there from women because of like I said, his delivery. But what I've heard, him talk about and speak about, I would have to say that I agree with pretty much 85-90% of everything that he was saying. I speak on my own experience, with relationships and dealing with women in my 42 years on earth. I can relate, to a lot of things that he said, and that's a great segue into where this particular topic tonight, we're going to take it to, and that is the protection of children when it comes down to parents not being together in the household as a couple, as being married and raising the children on, as a family unit. And one thing I remember Kevin Samuels saying is that a lot of our young males, pretty much your age or young, or between the 18 and I would say 25 graphic, have been raised by single women, in which a lot of these single women pretty much, push the man outside of the house, or that man, that they haven't built a bond or a relationship to raise their children together. But more so of I was to say pushing, I was to say, you know, women cutting off or trying to cut off the man from the children. You know what I mean? And how dangerous that is, and plus, you know, how impactful and that how it can affect the children in the long haul, and how it affects the man or the woman. Because it's not just women singling out the man sometimes, all the time. It's, you know, sometimes, you know, there's a situation where I speak on myself. I had custody of your brother, Damon, and, you know, so I was, you know, the sole parent. His mom was not a consistent presence in his life, you know what I mean, because of certain things that she did to him in his past, in which she wasn't allowed to be around him by herself, but she could have visited him, she could have called him, in which she didn't. And for that reason, you know, she would have to, you know, explain that herself. But I always kept the door open. I never shut her out. And I've always allowed Damon to call her whenever he wanted to call her. And however that conversation, you know, played out was totally up to her. You know what I mean? And eventually one day, you know, or several days later, or sometimes later in his life, he stopped asking, you know what I mean, to call her. And that is totally something in which I didn't want to have no parts or influence, you know, in that relationship, whether it was going to be a strong one or whether it is a weak one. I didn't have any impact on that. You know what I mean? I tried to stay, I did stay far away from that relationship as possible. Only when, you know, he may have asked me a couple, you know, certain questions. That's when I chime in and give him my thoughts. But other than that, I didn't offer him my opinion about his mom. You know what I mean? I had never offered, you know, anything in which would downplay his mom. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of single parents, you know, my mom was a single parent. You know, very rarely did I can remember, you know, anything bad or wrong that she said about my father, you know, directly to me. Now, her talking over the phone, I may have heard, you know, her say some things in which, you know, didn't put my father in a good light, but I didn't hold anything to him as far as any grudges or any anger. You know what I mean?
When you mean that, you mean coming from the mom. So saying that your mom had issues with your dad, and those issues that your mom had with your dad do not become your issues that you had with your dad.
Right. Right. Exactly. You know, I didn't know what child support was. I never knew what child support was. Growing up, I wasn't privileged to that information. You know, growing up in the 80s, you know, it was a lot of people can relate. You know, young people didn't mind. We didn't have any, you know, we were always told never stick your head in grown folks' bed. You know, so grown folks tended to keep their business and conversations more privately back then. Now it's whatever, you know what I mean? And I think that's where, you know, a lot of negative influences can be transferred over into children's ears and their thoughts about the other parent. That's where I, you know, yeah, I mean, maybe you can speak on something, you know what I mean, yourself, you know, in your household. Like I said, I me and your mom, split up. We just didn't get along. You know what I mean? But that had nothing to do with my wanting to be a father to you and your brother and your sister. You know what I mean? I knew that your mom and I were not compatible to live and maintain a household and raise you guys, in a functional environment. So I made the hard, tough decision to leave. You know what I mean? And when I did make that decision to leave, I pulled you to the side one night. I think you said you recall this conversation.
No, for sure. It's crazy because that was years ago.
Right. But and I remember telling you, son, I hate to do this, but I have to leave, man. I have to leave you here, and you go and be the man in the house. Because your mom and I, we're not getting along, and I don't want to fight with your mom anymore in front of you guys. And it hurt me to my core, man. You know what I'm saying? That I had to separate myself from the household. You know what I mean? But I emphatically remember telling you, I am nowhere far away. I am very close. You know what I mean? You can always call me. I'm always going to be around. I'm always going to be, present. You know what I mean? My existence may not be here inside the household with you, but just know I'm just a phone call away. You know what I mean? How was you impacted by that when I, broke that news to you?
When you broke the news to me, I was distraught. I don't think I fully, really knew what that meant at the time.
Right.
Like, when you told me, I was like, oh, he's probably going to be gone a week or something. I didn't know that meant indefinitely at the time.
Right.
But what it did show me was, like, the responsibility, like you said, that I had to be the man in the house. That responsibility was not vacant. And I had to be the one to fulfill that as best as I could as a kid,
Right.
So I just feel like, a lot of times when you come from a household with a single parent, for the child, that parent, whether it be the father or the mother, they can do their best, trying to play both roles, but it's never really truly fulfilled. So as a child, it felt for me, I had to grow up quick, which was fine. I've always been thoughtful and stuff like that, but it definitely made me recognize responsibilities a lot sooner. And like you were speaking on earlier, I got privy to some information about adult life that maybe you weren't privy to when you were the same age as me. So yeah, it definitely, I feel like it really aged me mentally. And then it also, I would say, made me more cautious in my own life when it comes to me picking a partner. Just knowing for myself, I don't ever want to put my own child in that position. Not to say you did anything wrong. It's just the fact that I just know what it comes with,
Definitely.
And there's, any choice we make, there's a consequence. So, me knowing that, and having that history, I don't want to make that mistake of, choosing a partner, having kids with them, and then it not working out,
Right.
I would much rather have, what I'm saying? Like, if we're not going to work out, let's figure that shit out before we have kids. Or, if we have kids, let's make that commitment to each other beforehand. But yeah, for sure.
I was just a kid when I had you.
Word.
You know what I mean?
You were younger than me than I am now.
Right. I was 18. You know what I mean? And 18 when you were born. You know what I mean? You know, so I had to grow up way fast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
hey man, I salute you on that, because I can't even look at it like, I can see myself having, like some starting to have kids, but like a year ago, 2 years ago, 18, nah. I don't know. I don't think I would have made it, man. So,
man. Thank you, man. It was hard. You know what I'm saying? And then when I gained custody of your brother, it was either take him or he was going to go to foster care, and I'm not having that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to step up and take full responsibility of him. At the same time, deal with the hustle and bustle of everyday life, being young, you know what I mean, still want to go out and enjoy my youth, and then dealing with a lot of opposition, from the other parent, you know what I mean, and just dealing with the stress of not seeing you every day, of not knowing where you are every day, not knowing who you're around with every day, not knowing, if you because a lot of things was cut off from you. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I don't want this to be a bashing of anybody specifically. But this is therapy, man. You know what I mean? For those who are also going through, the drama and the trauma of trying to be a parent when you have opposition. You know what I mean? And that opposition is the other parent. You know what I mean? Where your children, lay their head at predominantly, throughout the weeks and months. And just how, what I would have wished was that your mom and I were cordial enough and civil enough to make decisions based off of y'all and what is best for you, and not make it so much of an emotional decision based on anger and hatred or anything of that negative source of thought, because a lot of things wouldn't have occurred. You know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But I don't regret having y'all. There's just a matter of, I just wish that there was opportunity for your mom and I to be in a better place mentally, spiritually, emotionally, where we could have communicated better. You know what I'm saying? And bring out more peace. You know what I'm saying? Now it's still a rocky situation. But like a lot of other men that's out there that are not in the homes, stay with it, man. Even though it's hard, it's you want to miss your children, you know what I mean? But if they going to get older, you know what I'm saying? And they will recognize the fight, you know what I mean, and the struggle. You know what I mean? Because, they see, I'm pretty sure you saw your mom struggle, you know what I'm saying? And balance, everyday life, you know what I mean? And you took that as a sign of strength, You didn't see so much of myself and my struggle, you know what I mean? But you being a man now and figuring things out just by being a single man with no children, the stress of paying bills. You know what I'm saying?
You, I could imagine having to feed another being. Yeah, not right now. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying I'm against it or having kids right now or anything. I'm just saying, like, it is a full plate to take on, you know.
Right. And I may sound this may sound hypocritical, you know what I mean, to some, but you know, I would say, son, wait till you're married. You know what I mean? I would say wait till you find that queen that you know that you want to be with for the rest of your life. You know, that woman that, you know, even when she is angry, she's still a pleasant to be around. You know what I'm saying? Because she doesn't carry her anger throughout multiple hours of the day. You know what I mean? You would want to be with somebody, you know. And I got this advice from you know, one of our student ministers here in the nation, student regional minister Kadir. He said, when you're in the courtship, that you should piss her off. I said, what? He said, yeah, piss her off. Intentionally, piss her off. And I thought about it for a second. I was like, you might have something there. He said, you know why? Because you would want to see her angry. You don't want to wait till she gets angry and then something comes out of her that you don't like. You know what I mean? So piss her off.
Or the term for it is called the shit test. And you know, it's funny. A lot of men, you know, and I you know, it is what it is. You learn eventually. But when we first get out here in the dating market, I would say our first impulse is not to, is this the right one? You know what I'm saying? Is not to almost like set up an interview, making sure this is the right person. Like when you get out here, you know what I'm saying, young mind and stuff like that. Yo, you just want somebody, yo. Right. And hey, thank you for sitting across the table with me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you know what I'm saying, after you go on some dates, you meet people and stuff, and you go through life experiences, that's when I would hope, you know what I'm saying, you start inquiring about the people that you have in your life. And the person that you should inquire on the most is going to be that partner that you have. That's going to be the, you know, that ride or die. And you got to make sure that that's the right person for you before going into it. So like you said, like, yeah, shit. Hey, yo, man, women have no problems testing us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's only fair. And it's not to play games. We're not saying in a sense to manipulate anyone or anything, or to play a game. It's just to see where that mentality is for that person, where the energy lies for that person, and see if you guys are equally yoked. Right. So yeah, it's not in a way to manipulate anybody or anything like that. It's just solely to make sure, is this the one for me? So how do you do that? Well, you do that just like with any other opportunity that you want in life. You go out with all right, so let's say you want a job. They don't just give you the job off of face value. They got a couple questions for you. Right. And depending on what the job is, you know, exactly. Tough questions. The questions can be tough. But if you really want that job and you know that's the job, you're gonna answer those questions and try your best to get the job. So I say that to say for men out there, hey man, I know it's hard, to find somebody, but you still have to have that self-value of yourself to say, I'm valuable enough to know my worth. What are you bringing to me? Are you, like you said, you bringing peace, or are you bringing something else? Right. And you know, in another good advice, you know what I mean, that I was given was speak to their ex. You would do that? Would I? Yes. Because if you speak to their ex, then you can, because you know, a lot of times, you know, you meet somebody and then, you know, they have this sob story that they were the victim, that they was cheated on, that, you know, things didn't go right because of that person. Yeah. Right? So you only hearing one side of a story. Word. You know what I mean? And
whenever that comes about, you always got to question that individual as far as, well, what would that other person, what would your ex say? That
I'll say this. I'll say I won't go out my way to contact their ex. However, given the circumstances you gave me, if they say, oh, this person, you know what I'm saying, they brought up the story that this person was an awful person, da 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 da. Right. Now you've opened the door for me to fact check it. So yeah, okay. On that basis, I would, you know what I'm saying, I would agree. But yeah.
Because like, you know, I saw a quote, and we got to talk about this too. The whole Johnny Depp thing and Amber Heard.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, I didn't watch the whole. You know what I mean? I didn't watch all the hearings, all the testimonies, all that. You know what I mean? I saw something in which, you know, it brought back memories, and it was a part, I can't remember exactly, but she was just lying, or you could tell that she wasn't telling the truth in one of her testimonies, and you know, pretty much the falsehood that was thrown out there, or the lie that was thrown out there, and as I told you this before, you know, a lie takes on a life of its own. It has its birth and it has its death. And when that death comes on that lie, that is when the truth is exposed, and the truth will reign supreme forever. So the lie has a period of time in which it consumes people thought, their perspective, their opinions on those that it's referring to. And when she tried to, you know, make a lie out to be the truth, that's when you mess up. You gotta speak another lie to cover that lie, and then you gotta come up with these thoughts of lies. You know what I mean? And nobody can nobody can tell the lie over and over again, and they come out the same way. There's always going to be something missing. You know what I'm saying? And she had a lot of holes in her stories. You know what I mean? And we know in Johnny Depp, you know what I mean? He stuck with the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? And the truth prevailed. And as a man being in that situation, going up against a woman where it's your word against her word, a lot of times it goes against the man. But in his situation, I believe that the judge and the jury saw the lie a mile away. You know what I mean? And ruled in the truth favor. You know what I mean? And I would have to say I bear witness to that. And that is, man, it's a great feeling.
It's a prime example of what we were just talking about when you were saying, you know,
right.
You need to essentially like go over the person that you're saying you want to spend the rest of your life with. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Depp decided to marry this woman who then decided to defecate on his side of the bed, abuse him, lie on his name.
Hold on. She defecated?
You didn't know that part?
No, man. What?
Yeah. She defecated on his side. Hey, but wait. What's worse is when he confronted her about it, she told him it was the dog. He goes, I know my dog. That was my dog, you know?
Yo. Yeah. Why she do that? She was mad at him? Yo, that's crazy.
Is there?
I didn't know about that one.
Is there ever any good reason to take on somebody's side back?
Heck no. That's disgusting, man.
But
wow, that's deep.
Yeah, I mean,
That's deep.
But like I said, you know, yes, she did all of this. You know what I'm saying? And she's based on her behavior, she's a terrible person. But I gotta look back at Johnny, because as men, we're all, you know what I'm saying, for each other, you know what I'm saying, we have to make sure that we're taking accountability for our own actions. And I gotta look at Johnny and say, yo, like, you married a woman that defecated on your side of the bed, and you mean to tell me when in the courting state, like you were stating before, you saw no red flags? I doubt that. Or unless you were either you weren't looking or you were being ignorant to it. But the signs,
okay,
you can't be someone that, you know, defecates on someone's side of the bed and not show signs of, you know what I'm saying, of that in the beginning. Not to say, you know what I'm saying, that you take out for a date and she, you know, dookies in the restaurant. But I will say, you know what I'm saying, that there had to have been signs, you know what I'm saying, like how she treated the waiter, how it's, you know what I'm saying, there had to be something, man. But like,
yo, man,
you gotta check people, yo.
But you'll be surprised, son, how people can create a facade and become this wonderful, great actor or actress. You know what I mean? Like your first meeting of a person, if they are not genuine, then what you're meeting is just a fake person. You meeting their representative. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, student minister, you know, gave me that thought of pissing them off. Because if you make somebody angry, then they forget that, you know, they got to put on the facade, you know what I'm saying, of being always on the up and up. You know, I want to see just about every emotion that, you know, another individual, you know, has. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be surprised, you know. So you know, it's different from asking and then finally it being revealed. You know what I mean? That, hey, this person got some anger issues, or this person doesn't know how to deal with their anger, because it's all about a response. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you get angry, that's okay. We're all human. We all go through emotions, but it's how you respond to the emotion. You see? So if you respond to your emotion because you are hurt, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna go work out, that's a positive response to your anger. But then when you choose to do something different or the opposite of working out, and you want to do something harmful or spiteful, you know, or vengeful, then that is where, you know, things get real crazy. You know what I mean? And you don't know if that individual has that anger streak in them unless you piss them off. You know what I'm saying? So whoever you got out there, if you haven't seen them fully, you know, I don't know how you can make them angry. I don't know, intentionally, I don't know how, you know what I mean? But it's, you know, that would be, you know, some good advice that I would give you. You know what I mean? The next person that, you know, whoever you have in your life, you know, piss them off on purpose and see how they react, how they respond, how they react. You know?
No, for sure. Like you say, you don't really know someone until, you know, they really let themselves be known. You know what I'm saying? And when that time is honestly, you know, the easiest to see who they really are is when they're angry. Now you can anger someone like me per se, and I might just go on a walk. Like I'm going on a walk. I'll be back. Right. Then you might have someone, they get angry, they hold that shit in. Maybe you may think they're all cool, and then they do something underhanded to you, or you know, you're out and about living your life and you think you come across an accident, you know what I'm saying, slash tire, whatever, that whole time that was that person's anger. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be really careful because people like that will ruin you. Yeah. Nah, you're right, man. They're damn the best. Right.
Right.
Um,
Or they would, it's different ways, man. But yeah, you got to be very careful, man. Going back to what we were speaking about earlier, with Kevin Samuels was talking. He talks about the woman being the I don't know the masculine women, and then that masculine women, because they don't have a man in the house, they sometimes.
he turns to modern.
Well, okay,
But
but then
masculine, yeah.
right, and then when they have a male child, you know what I mean? How is that impacting that male child that they have inside the household? You know what I mean? Because your mom is angry with me, does she take it out on you, or does she talk about me in a negative way, or does she not even involve you because she doesn't want you to have that same animosity, that same anger towards your father? You know what I'm saying?
I will say, you know what I'm saying, when you're speaking on masculine women, as cliche as it is to say, being raised by a masculine woman as a male results in feminine care, that male being effeminate in behavior. And that goes back to what I was saying before, even the best mom, you know what I'm saying, not being a masculine woman, modern woman, she's doing what she's supposed to as a mother, and she's a single mother. There's still things that she cannot teach her son how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many men she's been around, or male attributes she may have picked up along the way of living life, it's not going to work. I can say, as a product of that, it's not going to work. I had to, luckily for me, I had you, I had my uncles, I had my stepdad, and then I had some other role models. I found Kevin Samuels for a good example. But without y'all, like, if I was just to go based solely on what I was taught by the women in my life, no disrespect to them, but my behavior would be more effeminate. I would be more emotional when it came to how I react to certain situations. And as a man, the last thing you want to do is act based on emotion.
Right. Or basically use your emotion to do something in which is harmful, or which can result in a negative thing. You know what I mean? And when you say, the women sometimes have to be careful about the other males that they bring into the child's lives, because that child is not picking up any of the characteristics of their father or the characteristics of their mother, depending on the situation. So if that occurs, then what you're getting is a whole new child. You know what I mean? Or behavior in which is not a common thing, in that person's DNA. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not around your father or your uncles or anybody that has blood that you share with, then you're not being impacted by influences by somebody who is within your line of thought, which was in the line of your characteristic. You know what I mean? Now, even though you may not, some children don't grow up with their fathers or their mothers in the household. However, they still, by the DNA trait, pick up or have in their characteristics similarities of their mother or similarities of their father. You know what I mean? That's automatic. That's natural. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be around your father 24/7 to have his mannerisms. Right. You know what I'm saying? Your nature, by far, will be that of your mom or that of your father. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, it can sway whatever way based off of what you are processing in your own mind, because you still have your own mind. You know what I mean? But your mind is similar to mine and similar to your mom. You know what I'm saying? It's a combination of both. Now, however you want to proceed to act and behave and respond and to interact with people, that is solely based on yourself and your DNA makeup. You know what I mean? So if you're not around your family, you know, then what kind of mannerisms are you picking up? You know what I mean? You're picking up somebody else's.
I think that's a good segue to what I also want to talk about. Is just like the importance of family. Because I think in my generation specifically, I feel like yours is like going on the cusp of like y'all understood the importance of family, but even at the same time, like it's not as cohesive as it probably once was for grandma and pop. But even worse than y'all, like looking at my generation, we family is the last priority when it used to be the first. Right. Which is really frustrating for me, because you know what I'm saying, like I love family, you know what I'm saying, like it's my rock, and that's what I stand on, and that's who I am, you know what I'm saying. Like anytime I want to bring up anybody, it's someone from my family, you know. A lot of what's going on right now is like people are just dissociating themselves from their current family that they have, and when it comes to building new ones, they're either not doing it or they're doing it in their own way, which still isn't justifying it, you know what I'm saying, isn't getting the results that we need in this world, which is productive people. The way you make a productive person is putting around them a great environment, and the greatest environment to be around is your family. Unfortunately, you know, like I said, that has been what I've seen from my generation. It's been like a huge shortcoming for us. Don't get me wrong, we do have priorities in our life. Like I have a lot of friends, you know, that are pursuing their hobbies. They have their education in mind, and all these other things that they want to do, you know what I'm saying, have a lot of money, real estate, all this shit. But there's no family in it. So what is this? What is great? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I love your hobbies. I love the fact that you want to do this and that. But if you don't have a family to give it back to, it's all in vain. You know, Kevin Samuels was talking about it live. I'm happy we had to have him as an honorable mention for today. He was talking about how there's going to be this generation of women coming up, familyless, you know, preoccupied with having the time of their life until, you know, they hit the ages of 35, 40, which we all know biologically that's the time clock in which women aren't able to conceive as well. And then passing 40, 50, 60, you forget it. And these women are aging and realizing, you know, I don't have a family by me. I'm 60 years old. Where's my grandkids? Where are my sons and daughters? Well, you didn't prioritize it. You didn't think it was important that, you know, make that a priority. So you skipped it. And that just goes back to saying, you know, all the choices we make have consequences. You know what I'm saying? And I would take that as a big learning lesson I've learned out of life, is everything that we do has a consequence. Even the things that you want, you know what I'm saying? Like the positive things out of life have, you know, there are some negativities that are attached to it. And you just have to be aware of it. And, you know what I'm saying? You have to be able to discern, you know what I'm saying, in your own life, what is going to be the most important things and how to balance those. You know what I'm saying? What comes first? Making all this money, getting the bag. You know what I'm saying? Getting the bag and not making a family. So who you getting the bag for? Yourself? For yourself for how long?
Right. Like, who you going to enjoy that money with, man? Who you going to enjoy that, you know, that time with?
It's crazy, you know, the people, like, you know what I'm saying, that those people that aren't focusing on, you know what I'm saying, building a family for themselves, building a legacy for themselves, turn into almost, I would say, like the Kevin Samuels said it, you're like the parasite of the family. Because when you come to the family gatherings, you bring no one but yourself.
Right.
So when you come, for me, I'm a good example because I don't have the kids yet. And let's say I stay on this track forever. Zaire, all my brothers and sisters are having kids and stuff. They're having family outings, and I come. Let's say they have a cookout, right? And I only bring me. Zaire brought his 3 kids. Damon brought his kids. Aaliyah brought hers. I just brought myself. In that position, all I'm doing is taking.
Right.
I'm taking. I'm not bringing anything to the family. I'm only taking.
And imagine. Now that you said that, imagine how I felt going to family functions and I don't have all of my children with me.
Word, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That happened a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it did. You know what I mean? And unnecessary.
Yeah. Can you speak on? I want you to speak on that. As you know what I'm saying, a father going to your family's outings and stuff like that, and you being there alone. How, like, you know what I'm saying, and not being someone that, you know what I'm saying, is bringing people. No offense, you just brought yourself. Like,
right.
Can you elaborate on that experience?
I mean, yo, man, it's everybody's looking at you and wondering why. Like, yo, man, where are your children? You know what I mean? And in our family, we don't hold our tongue. You know what I mean? There's some cousins of ours, and uncles and aunts who remember, man, we're from New York, so you know we don't have a shy bone in our body when it comes to something that we see that is wrong. So you know, let's for instance, you know, the family reunion that we had, you know, a few years ago. You know, unfortunately, none of my children came along with me. You know what I mean? And of course, the family was like, yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong? Obviously, something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it hurts. You know what I mean? It hurts more because I've been raised around all of these people as a tight-knit family. So it's like, yo, you weren't raised this way, so how are you bringing up your children this, you know, in a different way? You know what I mean? But it wasn't all my, you know, doing. You know what I mean? It was opposition. You know, I would just use that word, opposition. Oh, that was a major impact of why you guys, your sister and your brother, wasn't always there for a lot of the family, you know, gatherings and functions and what have you, and all that other stuff. You know, when I picked y'all up, you know, for the weekend, you know what I mean, I try to do as much as possible, which is very hard, only having you guys 2 nights out of the month. I picked you up on a Saturday morning, and then had to drop you off Sunday evening. That is not nearly enough time to do anything and everything that you want. You know what I mean? But I had to make the best of it, you know. And however that was, you know, that's what it was. But you know, it hurts, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I always wanted you guys around me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I know that I was not in the household with your mom, and you know what I mean. You know, And it was just an unnecessary battle, man, that I really didn't want to be in, that type of a fight with your mom. You know what I mean? You know, who wants to beef and all that, and, you know, talk smack about each other? You know, that's not productive, man. You know what I'm saying? It didn't provide you guys any type of comfort. They didn't provide you guys any type of confidence. You know, it drew a wedge, man. You know what I mean? And I take responsibility for, you know, everything that I have done into creating whatever, you know, ill feelings that you guys have gone through. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of times, you know, I just didn't say anything at all. You know what I mean? I just sat there. You know, whatever the opposition was saying, I just didn't give it a response. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to go back and forth. Because eventually it would just be a back and forth thing. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like, you know, going back to your question, it was a hurtful thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And not for you guys to even meet a lot of your family that you guys have. I mean, we have a strong gene in our bloodline, and a lot of your cousins, like, you could tell we're cousins. You could tell we're related. You know what I'm saying?
Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, we all look alike. You know what I mean? Sure. And, you know, we all had the same interests, music, you know what I'm saying, business, entrepreneurship, like that's you know, intelligence, knowledge, like you know what I mean? That's pretty much yeah, man, that's pretty much across the board over here. You know what I mean? And, you know, I think, you know, it's not too late, you know what I'm saying, to fix that. You know what I mean? It's not too late. You know what I'm saying? You guys are adults now. You know, you don't have to be, you know, you don't have to have the thought which was forced on you or just provided for you about your family. Because, like I said, man, when you only get one side of the story, you're not getting the full spectrum of the truth. You know what I mean? And a lot of things that were told to you and your brother and your sister were not true. You know what I'm saying? And whenever you guys are ready, you know, I always used to tell you guys, like, you know, if you have anything wrong that you feel, you know, upset or angry about, you know, talk to me. You know what I mean? Please talk to me. You know, I was pretty much my way of saying, hey, don't just fall for this one side of the story. You know what I'm saying? Inquire, be inquisitive, ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Please ask, because I do not want anything I don't want our relationship to be impacted by, you know, some lies. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, a lot of our, you know, time had been. A lot of times it was. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I said, this is not the, you know, bash anybody, you know, episode, but the truth of the matter is true. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't the perfect father, you know what I mean? But I wanted to be a father. It wasn't no, you know, I want to, you know, I don't want to take care of these kids. Nah, I always wanted y'all around me. You know what I mean? No matter what I did, as far as go referee or what have you, go play basketball or something like that. You know what I mean? I always wanted you guys around. You know what I mean? Just so y'all can all have a connection together. You know what I'm saying? With Trishay, with Damon, like, you know, I felt incomplete. You know, it was like Voltron. I got 5. You know what I'm saying? Arm, leg, arm, head. You know what I mean? That's the 5. That's, you know what I mean? That makes Voltron. You know what I'm saying? So if I only have two of the pieces, I'm missing 3. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not complete. You know what I mean? Even like right now, I'm not fully complete because there's one out there that, you know, she's decided, you know, to stay away from us for some odd reason. But, you know, and you know, and I have the, you know, my grandson, I'm incomplete right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, once I have all of y'all together, you know, back in my life fully, without any opposition, you know what I mean, life would be even more sweeter than what it is right now.
You know what I'm saying? It just a little bit back from ourselves, a little bit, Pops.
Yeah.
For me, I've just seen it almost as specifically in our community, the Black community, a pandemic of what this is, which is essentially a lack of family dynamic in our community.
Right.
Can you speak on that a little bit? What you
yeah.
And I can just say what I've seen.
I mean, yo, man, it's how I grew up. Like I said, you know, we stayed over our cousin's house, Buffy, Courtney. You know what I mean? That was our core, because, you know, your great grandfather is the oldest of all of his brothers, which were about 9 of them, and one girl, one sister. You know what I mean? So, you know, with him, your grandmother being the oldest of 4, and our core, you know, immediate family of cousins and first cousins, you know, we grew up like sisters and brothers, man. You know what I mean? And that was the way in which I wanted y'all to grow up and be up under. You know what I mean? Being tight and close with, you know, your cousins, with, you know what I mean, my brother's children. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, unfortunately, that didn't, you know,
Hey, you're cutting out a little bit, Pops. But can I hopefully
as great as it should have been. Can you hear me?
Word.
Trey, can you hear me?
All good. Yeah, you're all good.
Okay. Yeah, you know, so it's but this generation, I mean, it's y'all are very, very split, man. And then one thing I gotta say is very obvious is that I grew up where we had video games, but we also went outside and socialized and played with other children on the block and did things outside. You know what I'm saying? That built of a stronger socialistic character as far as, you know, appreciating family. But like now it's like you don't see young children playing like 10, 12, 13, 15 years old, just being outside, hanging with each other, you know, playing kickball. Like, you know, you don't see that in neighborhoods no more. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that is the difference, you know, from when I was growing up and from when you were growing up. You know, I just don't see that. You know what I mean? I don't see that. If y'all was around y'all cousins, it was only at functions. It was only at events. You know what I'm saying? But
I would say that you did a great job of when, you know what I'm saying, when you did have us for those weekends and when you could get maybe Jonah, Shelby, and all the rest of them to get with us, Brandon, you would do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it definitely happened, but like you said, I would have wished that we would have had more opportunities like that.
Right.
But I will say you definitely tried. Speaking on my generation though, man, it's just the lack thereof. You know what I'm saying? It's just like no thought of it. Like when you say family,
do you think it comes? Like, what do you see? Where do you see the problem of of that, originated in your thought process at your age right now?
Well, specifically in our community, it's just the lack of role models, the technology, which is making us less social, you know what I'm saying? And then what I hate about it is, I love doing this podcast with you, don't get me wrong, but I would much rather us be in the same room together having this, you know what I'm saying? But
right.
It is what it is. You can't do anything about that.
Right. Same here, man.
I will say people settle for this.
Right.
We're doing it because you know what I'm saying, you live in Virginia, I live in Florida, but like people are having whole lives with other people through this. And for me, that doesn't suffice. I don't know about anybody else, but that doesn't suffice for me. You know what I'm saying? We do this podcast. I still need to, talk to you on the phone at least, you know what I'm saying? Or talk about getting up to, you know what I'm saying? We coming down here. I was supposed to go with you to Vegas. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? That was on me that I go, and I wish I would have did. But you know what I'm saying? For me, it's not my interaction or my relationship reach with people is, I try to use my phone as less as possible. You know what I'm saying? If I could talk to you directly face to face, that's my much preferred. And I think in this generation and the ones coming up, like, there's going to be less and less people having the capacity to be able to hold a conversation in person. Like, I've seen people literally talk like they're texting.
Right. Me too.
You don't even talk like a person, yo. You talk
right.
the way you text me on the phone.
Exactly.
Exactly. So when it comes to family, so we have that. We have the technology issue. We have the lack of role models, and then we have this government, society, this world that we live in, where, you know what I'm saying, they fear Black people. So the only way they can hurt us is to destroy our family structure. Right. We're the only group of people that are not allowed, it seems to me, to have our own communities, our own businesses, and our own families. Everyone else is privy to have that right. For some reason, ours it's some BS with us, And I
think a lot of that too, and a lot of that too, man, falls on There are more single mothers. There's single fathers too, but there are more single mothers raising children without the other parent in the house, without the father in the household. And then the emotions are added into it.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? And however that emotion is, it's always trickling into the children's ears and then the children's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I remember asking you one time, did you ever have the need or desire to want to call me and talk to me over the phone? You know what I mean? And of course, your answer would be yes. But then, well, did you ask? You know what I mean? Did you ask? And then your answer was nah. But you never thought of that. Do you know why you didn't ask? You know what I'm saying? Did you ask a question yourself? Why don't I ask my mom? My mom. Why can I talk to my dad? You know what I'm saying? And it's because of certain things that may have been said, or you seen certain emotions that you said, okay, when this person brings up my father, they're always upset and they're always angry. So therefore, I don't want to make this person upset or angry. So therefore, I won't even mention him. You see?
Or it's I would like to say it's a negative reinforcement. I could be wrong, but yeah.
Nah, you're right. It's a negative reinforcement. You know what I mean? And it's a form of abuse. That's a form of a mental abuse, emotional abuse. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down with human beings involved. That's what it is. Because the adult has so much influence on the children You know what I mean? Mother, father, teacher, you know, one small, piece of information or act
the seed of thought,
towards that child.
Seed of thought, or something like that. We were talking about this earlier with
you know what I mean?
Explain to me Inception and how that's based, but like with children, you plant
Right.
the seed of a thought and it takes form in action and behavior.
It takes form, and it forms into your actions, it forms into your responses, into your social life. You know what I mean? It impacts you. You know what I mean? And I told you this the other day, man. When we spoke, I said, "Yo, man, y'all were perfect in my eyes. This is not but y'all were the perfect children. You know what I mean? I never had to go to y'all school for nothing. I never heard a teacher say anything bad about you all. You know what I'm saying? There was I never had to spank you. You know what I'm saying? It was, damn, y'all was perfect, man. You know what I mean? But it made me feel good that you guys didn't come out, you didn't turn out any other way, where what impacted you made you, if it hurt you or if it made you angry, you took it out on your grades, or you took it out on anybody that came your way, that crossed the line, or you didn't take it out on anybody else. You didn't take it out on me as much. You know what I'm saying? You may have been angry, you may have, may have just been a little bit quiet, but you guys were never disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Not to my face. You know what I mean? Now, talk about me behind my back. I'm not there. But I commend y'all, man, because there was great opposition that didn't want us to have a positive and healthy, strong relationship. You know what I mean? And I appreciate this. You know what I'm saying? This podcast with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to do anything. I don't like making moves without, including my children, man. You know what I mean? And I hope, man, we can get your brothers and sisters up on here too, man. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Yeah.
Hey,
for sure.
I feel like the conversation is winding down. So let me just say this. You told me about Brother Sanchez. You want to let them know?
Oh yeah, shout out to Brother Sanchez. Salute. Thank you for the shout out. He gave Two Trade Podcast a shout out. Like, I hope you can clip it. You know what I mean? One time, and we can replay it, whatever. But salute to Brother Sanchez. I'm an avid listener and follower of him. You know what I mean? Brother is very knowledgeable and very deep. You know what I mean? Very deep. There's a lot of things I don't agree with him with, but there's a lot of things I do. And coming from a person who I can see his heart is in the good. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to, manipulate people, trick people, none of that, unnatural, unrighteous stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a righteous person who is trying to impact us with truth and help us see the matrix for what it is, and all the codes that's and symbols that's hidden, that we cannot see or we don't see, but it's right in front of our face. So salute, Brother Sanchez. Thank you, sir.
Word. And Pops, any before we get out of here, because it's running a little late, it's almost 11 o'clock. Don't want to keep our viewers on here too long. Any other any final thoughts you want to have on the discuss on today, or anything?
I mean, this, we tried it. This is not going to be an every night thing. You know what I mean? Two Trade Podcast. We usually on in the morning. You know what I mean? We just wanted to try to change it up. Once in a while. And hopefully this will, you'll do a little remix. You know what I mean? Hope this will, grow our followers and have people chime in, man. You know what I mean? And follow us on the live and to, just tap in. You know what I mean? But yo, man, I love you, man. I love your brothers. I love your sisters. I love my grandchildren. You know what I mean? I enjoy this. I enjoy this topic, man. I enjoy this discussion.
Word. My final thoughts, I would just say prioritize family, because no matter, what I'm saying, all the stuff we acquire in life, you can lose it just like that. The only thing that will still be there is the family that you made along the way. So you better make it big.
Yeah. And last thing.
Yeah.
One thing, yo, man, for those out there in the world who are angry with others, let it go. Life is too short,
Way too short.
Let it go. You know what I mean? Live your life and allow others to live theirs without you involved. That's all.
Well spoken, Pops. This has been episode 28. Can you believe that?
28.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. 28 is great, man. That's a great number. That's, you know what I mean? The 2 and the 8, that makes 10. Drop the 0, that makes 1.
Word.
Indeed.
Number one show on YouTube.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We getting
there.
We're gonna get there, man. Slowly but surely, man. We don't only fire shout outs. We gotta give ourselves some sort of, stand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
No, like follow something do.
Again, guys, if you guys are out there enjoying the show, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Again, it does a whole lot for the show. It gives us the opportunity to invest more into the show. So go ahead and please do that. Also, in the comment box below, there should be a link to our PayPal account, and that's going to be all funds that are given to that are going to be used for the podcast. So if you
Indeed.
love the show, if you support our show,
subscriber,
show it.
Show some love, man.
And with that has been another episode 2 Teys podcast. Pops, love you, man.
Love you, son.
Word. Love y'all, world.
Salute, world.
Bless the rest of y'all's day. Bless y'all's night. We'll be Pops. We'll be back on next Thursday, right?
Yes. Hopefully, we'll be presenting a special guest.
Word. Another special guest for you guys. You know that we come in pretty clutch with the special guest.
Yeah.
We coming up as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've been knocking them out the box, man, at the park here, man. You know what I mean? Everybody we had on has been right on, and it's been a blessing. Right, that's all. Yeah.
Hey, like y'all can do. I would say for the people that have been on, shoot, y'all can do a spinoff or something. I don't know. Hey.
Yeah.
But stay tuned to either our YouTube channel, subscribe so you'll be notified for our upcoming videos. And follow us on our social media accounts. I'll go ahead and put this up right now for us. Right. Do that because I know for me we'll be posting, when we'll have special guests. And Instagram for me, Pops, Facebook, Instagram for you? Is like your
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. So that's our
even our Twitter too. I got a Twitter account now.
I still haven't made that for us yet. But we're gonna have a Twitter account soon. So if you have a Twitter account, stay tuned. We're gonna have our page up for that, so you guys can follow as well.
Absolutely.
Let's
put your Instagram up there too, man.
Let me go ahead and make that real quick.
Yeah. Let me just give a rise in power to a very dear friend of mine that I just lost Marlon Dooley Brown. We just laid him to rest a couple of days ago. Shout out to his wife Maisha and his 4 children. Salute. And Rise and Power, Marlon, aka Dooley. Salute.
Rest in peace. I'll go ahead and post my Instagram on there as well. So guys, go ahead and please follow us on our social media accounts, and that way you guys will be able to, if you want to know important events and stuff like that we'll be having up, we'll definitely be having it on our social media accounts first. That's the easiest way to get it out there. But Indeed. As well, subscribe to the channel, you know.
Please.
With that being said, this has been another episode of the Teys Podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed the show.
2 Trey.
Next time. Yes, sir. Love you, Pops.
Peace. Love you too, son. Assalamu alaikum.
Right? Wa alaikum salam.
You too.
To the world out there, y'all have a blessed night as well.